Welcome back to Where Rovers Walk, episode 18. And this week, we've got a lot to discuss. Mainly, is John Eustace the most underrated manager in this championship, beating Leeds and, of course, beating Middlesbrough in the space of 5 days? Todd Cantwell also gets our discussion points this week. The January transfer window, what are Rovers' priorities? And, difficult one for these boys, who should be Rovers' November player of the month? But let's digest, first of all, Middlesbrough and then Leeds. Welcome back, fellas. Wow. What a difference a day off makes. Harry, let's start with that Borough result, shall we? If that's okay with you. Our Borough fans said Blackburn very much deserved that. You agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a really solid display from all. I mean, you could say the same about both games. It was a really solid display to a man all round, really. You can't fault anyone for their efforts. We defended really well, stopped their sort of more clinical players like Latte Lapham really having a chance, and then got that goal that we deserved towards the end and managed to see it out. So, yeah, we were well deserved the 3 points. It's been a really solid week from us.
Absolutely. And then 7,000 Leeds fans came down, Tom, to the Darwin end. And, you sent them packing.
Yeah, they were very much humbled. I think the last run of games, really, since Cardiff, Blackburn have suddenly turned a corner and become very much a passing team. And I didn't really think we could ever do that. The players we have, the tactics have changed massively. And I think even though we gave away a lot of the possession against Leeds, despite what many people would say on the Leeds end, we didn't really look too threatened by their players. I think we're very much comfortable. And I know Rodon has come out with some stupid comment about parking the bus and making himself look a bit stupid with that, because I think we threatened, and Dolan was on absolute fire. That's been one of the best performances I've seen Dolan put on in a Rovers shirt. And I think, it was a thoroughly deserved, hard-fought win that, I can't credit the players enough. I think they did really, really well from start to finish, all players. But Dolan especially, a man of the match for me.
Yeah, it must have been watching our previous videos, old Tyrese. Jason, what did you make of this? This has been it's not often Blackburn win back-to-back games, full stop, is it? But back-to-back away at away at one of the sides and home to one of the sides against two of the best attacking sides in the league.
Yeah, and it's clean sheets as well, which are probably as valuable for confidence as the 3 points are, really. Going forward, we went through a spell of conceding silly goals we were creating ourselves, and then suddenly we've just got so tight at the back now. I don't think any of us saw this turning for. I think the Cardiff result sparked all this. I think it was a result that came at the right time. Give us 2 weeks off to go in with a lot of positivity, 2 weeks on the training field. I'm going to say I think the Portsmouth getting postponed helps us. It was a bit more of a rest, a bit more time. And we looked fresh against Middlesbrough, and we still looked fresh against Leeds on Saturday. I thought we were brilliant. I thought we matched them. We played to our strengths, which was counter-attack. And whenever we got the ball, we looked dangerous every time we went forward on Saturday and against Middlesbrough. At the end of the day, we had to. Our main priority against Middlesbrough had to be shut them out. Same with Leeds. You've got to shut these teams out. They score a lot of goals. Your priority's got to be that. And I think Leeds are known for they do concede goals. They pile forward when they go forward. They leave space at the back. And I thought we were brilliant. I thought the game plans worked perfectly on both.
Okay. Mark, Daniel says, John Eustace, I sincerely apologise, and I will never doubt you again. You are the greatest manager in the world, and I will never criticise you again.
Great Twitter. I love it, Reece. Brilliant.
I don't know if Daniel's either 14 or being a little bit sarcastic. But joking aside, Mark, when Leicester set the manager, I genuinely thought Eustace's name would come in for conversation there. And I'm almost angry, not because I want him to leave you guys, of course I don't, but I'm also angry for him that he doesn't seem to get the recognition that he deserves. Whenever a Premier League job comes up, his name should be should be there, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I think he's massively underrated. I mean, again, I think we said previously, I mean, look at the job he did at Birmingham and then got, the biggest mistake they made. We're sacking him and look where they are now. So, I mean, it's good for us that he's not being linked or being, other clubs are being linked with him. I want to keep it that way as much as we can, but the further we progress under him, and again, you can't forget obviously the resources that he's working with, or the lack of resources. He's doing a fantastic job, and he's definitely going under the radar at the moment. Like I said, I think even some of your top Championship clubs, they probably wouldn't necessarily look at him. But long may it continue, to be honest, because if it's great for us. And he can continue just building on the work that he's doing at Ewood. But he's massively underrated. I think he's, the job that he did last season. I mean, I think we'll all agree. We were a club in free fall. It was relegation bound. No doubt about it. And then obviously taking it to the last game and to get that result at Leicester. And then the way he's built in over the summer and got his own ideas across. And I noticed as well after the game after a couple of games, and when the players are hugging each other and all that, the players go to him, and I think they just love him. I think the players really, really, really love him. So it's great for us, and I said long may it continue, and let's hope nobody does start making any approaches for him in the near future.
Sorry to plant that idea. Harry, we heard last year that John himself may have watched some of our conversations last year. So John, if you are watching these conversations, please can we have you on just for 10 minutes? We'd love to have you here in the middle while these four can just bow down and give you praise. So if you in contact with John Eustace, let us know. Email is in the description. We'd love to have you on. Harry, this I want to see if you agree with this one. Ben says, what a performance, what a result. For me, this was our best performance under Eustace. That's what I want to ask you about in a second. Do you agree with that? Everyone played their part. Dolan, Tronstad and Cantwell in particular were all immense. So proud of Eustace and the boys beating Borough and Leeds back-to-back. His son going, what a week. Right, Harry, was the Leeds game the best game under Eustace?
It's certainly got to be up there. I'm racking my brains now, thinking maybe the game against Leeds at Ellen Road last season, but it's certainly up there as one of the better ones. Going back to what we were talking about before about Eustace, I remember being on here in March or whenever we got John Eustace, and we were on here with a Blue Nose who said, I think they referred to Eustace as a PE teacher, saying he was a good sort of man manager, but couldn't manage tactically at all. But since being at Rovers, and I think that's the kind of reputation he came to Rovers with, and to some extent still has outside of Rovers fans, but he's completely shown that he can set up aside to play different ways, play good football at times, and when we need to be a bit more defensive minded, we can be. And we've got a really, really solid squad. People who are like the squad are really on board with him. Everyone seems really motivated. There seems to be a good vibe. He's done a really good job. I think we went to Leeds. Leeds came to us rather, and we kind of expected that with the goals, like Middlesbrough did on Wednesday night, with the goals they've been scoring and the free flowing attacking, that there was a bit of a chance that we could get turned over, especially if we were a bit defensively naive. But we played. It's not like we sat back. We attacked them. We took the game to Leeds. We almost matched them and outdid them in sort of every area of the field. And we were unlucky not to win by a couple more goals. I think Ahashi had one off the bar, and Cantwell could have had another one late on. In terms of as far as performances go, you can't fault anyone to a man, and especially Eustace done a fantastic job.
Absolutely. And there's some Leeds fans that say it's actually thanks to John Eustace that they are still in the Championship, because, of course, it's now 3 times that he's beaten Daniel Farke 1-0 with both, of course, Birmingham and you guys last year. Daniel Farke just hasn't got the measure of John Eustace yet. All right, let's switch tacks then. Tom, there's an argument to say that Todd Cantwell, who was one of the best summer signings, not just of this championship side, but of any championship side in this summer. These tweets highlight that. Todd Cantwell walks into every single championship team. He's that good, says Ross. We're lucky to have him. One of us up, proud of Punch. And Laura says, can we just do a just giving for the Todd Cantwell statue now, please? Levels. All right, then. Is it an exaggeration to say he could walk into any championship side right now?
I think he absolutely could walk into any team right now. In all honesty, I was amazed we managed to get him for $500,000 on a 3-year contract. I know in previous transfer windows we have been linked with Cantwell, and I was pleasantly surprised that we even were in the first place. But the fact we managed to get hold of him, because all the Rangers fans in the summer across Twitter were slating him for whatever reason, saying he was a show pony. All he cared about was his TikTok account, and that he didn't really care about the team, and his attitude was all wrong. So any new player that comes into the club, you could have benefited out to. And he came in and he's just kind of embraced the culture. And I think he knows the Championship. We all know what he did at Norwich. And 3 or 4 years ago, he was being touted as being worth 40 or 50 million, being linked with Aston Villa. And I think he's come into Blackburn kind of a big fish in a relatively small pond. And I think he likes being that main man. And I think now he's getting his fitness up. He's really beginning to show what he can do. And just some of the things that he can do with the ball at his feet and the passing he's got and the tricks he can do, you can see he has that ability, and he is easily our best player, our most creative player. So I think any team would be lucky to have him, and I'm amazed that no other team were going in for him for a steal of $500,000. And you see some proper mediocre players go in England at the moment in this division for 3 or 4 times the price of $500,000. So the fact we got Cantwell on a permanent deal, not a loan, as well, was a massive bonus. And I think the Eustace effect, as you were saying previously, he wants to play for him, wants to play for the club. And I think he's a real asset to our team. And he could be the difference maker this year if we are to push on for the top 6 in getting promotion.
Well said. Jason, the Rangers fans' issues were that he's sometimes quite a selfish player. And as Thomas said, he looks out for himself. Have you seen any side of that of him so far this season?
No, I think I was worried because obviously that was the big alarm bell that was ringing when we started him, because that's really all the Rangers fans spoke about. Never spoke about what he was good at. They just spoke about the problems he could bring to us. I think a little bit of jealousy of the fact that I think Rangers fans actually liked him. He didn't want to go. I think that was the problem. And we went through a bad run where he was still gaining fitness. He was getting minutes on the pitch. And a couple of guys did pick up 1 or 2 yellow cards, silly ones and stuff. And you thought, is this what they were talking about? And he's just turned it around. I think a lot of it. Now I look back at them couple of games, as it wasn't that he was spitting his dummy out. Things weren't going his way. It was just how short of match fitness he was. And now, I mean, Saturday, he was unbelievable. He was unbelievable Saturday. He was the best player on that pitch by a country mile. And he actually looked like he was playing in the wrong division on Saturday for me. He was absolutely brilliant. And I think we're going to see more of it. I think he's getting match fit. That goal, he's needed that. He's come close on 3 or 4 occasions now. He needed that. And I think we're going to see the real Todd Cantwell. I think now it's over the Christmas period as the games come thick and fast. But no, I've not seen any of it. I thought there was a chance, but it's just never transpired. So,
okay. All right. Thank you very much, both of you, for that. Mark, last week we spoke about the FA Cup 3rd round draw. You all gave me your wishes. I didn't hear Middlesbrough away from anyone. Is that possibly one of the worst FA Cup draws you could have got?
Yeah, probably. I don't think from recent memory, I think we've had a few poor, bad, like 3rd round draws. Obviously, I've sat down to watch it and you think, I love the 3rd round draw, and you're thinking, right, come on. And then, Middlesbrough away, and you're thinking, really?
Just yeah.
I know, yeah. It was like,
It's like getting socks for Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like getting socks for Christmas.
It's like, you're thinking, am I going to have to go there at start of January? I'm thinking, I don't know. So not exactly what we wanted, but if we can turn in the same performance as we did the last week, and get into the 4th round, and again, I'll take a good performance and a 1-0 victory up there, and get us into the hat for the next round. But yeah, it was a tad disappointing a couple of hours ago when that draw was pulled out. But never mind.
All right. This month, of course, everyone's writing Christmas lists, so we're going to do that exactly on here now and ask these guys what they want in the January transfer window. Before we do that, please drop us a subscribe if you haven't yet done so. We'd love to get to over 100 subscribers by the end of the year. If it helps to spur you on a little bit, Burnley, our opposite channel, are starting to grow and quite rapidly. So we really would love Rovers fans to help us out grow equally as fast. Let's kick this off then. Mark, let's start with you then. What's top of the list in terms of positions that Rovers need to start to look to invest in when that window opens?
A striker, definitely. Definitely another striker. I know we've said in recent weeks, I think Gaye is struggling. I think it's not quite happening for him. Ohashi, actually, I thought he played well on Saturday, and I think there is a player there, and I think the goals will start to come with him. But we definitely need another striker, even if we can put, I don't know, maybe a decent striker from League One or something like that, just somebody that can maybe come in and hit the ground running. Because I think, it said some of the chances that we've missed, we do need to be that bit more clinical. So that is definitely number one priority. And I think as well, if we could get a winger as well, another winger with a bit of pace. And again, I think a couple of players, and again we could really kick on in the second half of the season. Whether that investment or whether that will happen remains to be seen. But yeah, definitely those two positions for me.
Okay. Harry, do you concur?
Yeah, completely echoing with what Mark said. I think 90% of the league is crying out for a decent goal scorer. I mean, no one's going to say no to someone who will get you sort of 10 to 15 goals between now and the end of the season. I suppose that is the one thing that you look at. If you looked at our starting 11, you'd say it's a really good team, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to pick where the goals are going to come from necessarily. A centre forward and a winger, someone who's going to chip in with a few goals. That's the thing. It's not only that our strikers aren't scoring; it's that the players behind the strikers. There's no one there that's sort of a 10+ goal a season player at the minute. So I do worry that if we don't address that, then whilst we're on a really good run at the minute, we're not scoring a load of goals. We've got 2-1-0 wins. So that's definitely a position that needs addressing. Centre forward and a winger probably.
Okay. Right. Tom, Jason, do you want to chip into? Are there any disagreements on any of that quickly?
No, I think that's pretty much nailed on the head, really. I mean, whenever I dip into the League One highlight reel, that Kwame Poku looks really good from Peterborough, and he's out of contract in the summer. So he's only a young lad. I think he's the sort of striker that we should be looking at. I think maybe £3 or £4 million, entice him to come to the Championship. I think he's a natural goal scorer because, in previous years we've relied on one or two players to get us out of a hole, and this year it seems maybe the goals have dried up with one player. So I think we need to start trying to find someone you can chip in. And I think also maybe like Mark said, the winger. I don't think Hedges is good enough. I know the jury's out with him at the moment. I think on his day he can produce some magic, but I think consistently he's not there. So I think a winger like Mark said, and definitely a striker.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much. And finally then, it's November Player of the Month time. One name from all of you, please. Can be the same one as well. Jason, you kick this one off for us.
I'm sticking with my mate, Tronstad. It's just week after week after week. He was phenomenal. He's been phenomenal. He's a massive part of the clean sheets we're keeping. A massive part. I couldn't tell you how many blocks he made on Saturday. Every time there was that half chance for Leeds a shot when it was Tronstad throwing himself across the front of the player every time. He's just unsung hero for me. I think he's on for player of the season for me. If he don't get outshone by Cantwell, but I just think he's phenomenal. I think he's brilliant. What a find.
Okay. I should have put money on you saying that. I knew it was going to. Mark?
I'm going to go with Jason on this. Actually, I know. I mean, there's a few names that spring to my mind. Travis, Cantwell. I think Iam deserves a mention. But yeah, Tronstad, I think, he does. He's an unsung hero. I think he does go unnoticed. And again, he was absolutely outstanding on Saturday. He really was. And he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet now. He's just that Mr. Reliable. He's a 7 out of 10 every week. And so, yeah, I'm going with Jason on this one. I'm going to say Tronstad as well.
Tom?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue. I mean, I do think Cantwell thoroughly deserves it as well, and I think Travis has been a rock, an absolute rock, and I think him and Tronstad together as a two are absolutely fantastic. And you can't, you name me a better 3 players in midfield in the Championship than Tronstad, Cantwell, and Travis. So I think either one of those 3 could thoroughly deserve to get the Player of the Month.
Harry?
Yeah, when I was looking over the results, for me, it was one of the midfield, 2, Travis or Tronstad. Because we've already spoke about Tronstad, I'll just give Travis his plaudits. I thought, if you go back to the Cardiff game, I thought he was exceptional that game. Not only as sort of breaking up play, doing the dirty work, but creatively he's become such a better player this season.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a 7, maybe 8 out of 10 every game, as is Tronstad. But we've really seen a more complete player out of Travis for this whole season, really. Now that he's got Tronstad alongside him to do that dirty work that maybe he used to do, it's allowed him to sort of become a bit more progressive, get higher up the pitch, and he looks a really solid and quite a creative player as well, chipping in with a few goals. So yeah, I mean it's Travis or Tronstad for me, but I'll go for argument's sake, I'll go for Travis.
And yet none of you have chosen the one Blackburn player that's featured in the Sky Bet Team of the Week more than any other. So I'll put it out there. Ainsley Pears, you should get. You should.
To be fair, I considered him that, but I didn't.
I'll stick up for you. None of this like
You were all slaving at the start of the season. I was just
yeah, hands up. I was.
I'm going to put my hands up. I still don't like him, but he's playing all right at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week at Hull City this weekend. A trip to Hull. You know what's going to happen here. You're going to beat Leeds, beat Middlesbrough.
I know.
You're going to lose to the
Going to get
out of form side of the
Tigers.
Have you still got the manager?
No manager. He's gone.
Oh, do it. We're getting beat. We'll see you next Monday when we're
See you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone.